Live from our studios in Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's your favorite Thursday night show, Up Late with Sion Marshall. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the host of tonight's show, Sion Marshall.
Good night, and welcome to today's edition of Update with Sion Marshall. I am your host, Marius. Yeah, Sion Marshall. It's a beautiful Thursday evening. It's hot. I'm sweating, but I'm alive. And if you are viewing, it means that you are active. So, thank God. Right. Welcome. And as always, I appreciate all those of you who Thursday night after Thursday night log on to this program, to be a part of this program, to support this program with Sion Marshall. Thank you so much for joining. This evening we have an exciting program lined up for you. So don't go anywhere, because tonight we'll be talking cricket. Now I know that 2 weeks ago, when we had Mr. Cupid on, Vice President of the SB Association. So tonight we're talking about cricket. Tonight we're talking BPL. We just concluded Vinci Premier League Edition 6. But before we go any further, I'm going to ask you to share the live on your page. And I'm going to do that as well. So, guys, ladies, gentlemen, please share the live. I'm going to do that now. Let me share the live. Um, I probably need to zoom out a little bit. So they close the body. Once we get it, we change it up a little bit. Get it up just a little bit. Um, let's see. I want to share that now. I need to. Okay. Not the wall, but I guess it's a bit of my head. Can you cut off my head? Just squeeze the handle, maybe I can squeeze a little bit. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Oh, listen. I am not sure. I am not sure. Could you just go behind me? Yes. Jordan's. Yes. We're having a little evening thing. Let me see. I'm looking now. Let me see. Uh, it's still a little, okay. Yeah, that will look a little bit, but no problem. So I have just shared the live, and I'm asking you to share the live as well on your page so that other individuals can join us. One more share. Hold on. Let's go. Now remember we're live on on Facebook and on YouTube. It's the same update with Sion Marshall. So whatever your preference is, just share that or log on it. I know my sisters they love me and this program and they one of them doesn't have 1.3 devices. Yeah, so let me see, I get like 1,500 views. Once it's taking about 400. So this right this now. I am getting it organized so that we can share it. Hold on, share it. Uh, there you go. She just said me she on. Okay. I guess she on for different devices. Now yes. So today I tell you we have some get some to share. Share. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. One last share. I promise you. Yes. Let's go. Uh, let's go. Here's the link. There we go. And I'm done. Right. So we're good to go now. All right. Good. So it's been shared. All right. The other thing I need to do is log on to make sure I'm seeing through for logging on. If I find these, I'm not getting the notifications. So when my folks say good night and so on, I'm not seeing them. Everybody say good night? Check out the comments to see, make sure everybody say good night yet and so on, because I don't want people saying good night and I'm not doing it. All right? Um, and so maybe what I can direct you to is highlight those things so that I can see them. All right. I am told I have an echo. Could you, director, make sure that the mic is muted on the laptop, please? That because of echo. Not the mic, sorry, not the mic, the speaker. Before the meeting, to make the laptop right on the touchpad right there. Just build volume. Okay. All right. Let's hope that that is sorted. Good night, Larissa. Thank you so much for logging on as always. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being a part of Survival. Now, last weekend, I was part of an exciting culmination of the sixth edition of the Vinci Premier League. The there is some problems to the vehicle. Let me just double check on that one. Hold on. Yeah, yes, let's see. Maybe you can tell me now if I'm still getting the echo, because hopefully by now we should no longer be getting that echo. Tell me now. Okay, I think it's a good something and so on. I don't think it's a volume problem. I think it's a music problem. So tell me. No, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Um, right, I'm not sure. I am not sure. I'm trying to figure this out. That is on. Isn't that? Okay, we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to solve it. I'm not sure why there's an echo. There should be. Make sure it's not your device is messing up because everything here is um okay. Everything here sounds right okay. No, it's probably low because because I have the mic very close to my mouth. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Listen, we're going on. So last week, I hope it's better. Last week, last weekend, there was a combination of the sixth edition of the Premier League. That exciting T10 cricket competition that brings together six teams named after tourism sites for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. From edition one, by my choice, I just got attached to the Grenadine Diamonds. Now my team had not been doing well for the previous edition. I stuck to my team. This year, the Grenadine Diamonds went all the way to the final. To be beaten in a most thrilling match by the Botanical Garden Rangers, the defending champions and back-to-back winners of the tournament. Now, I believe this is the third time those teams met in the entire competition. The Divers won the first match, but the second match and the most important match, which was the third match, the Rangers won. And I want to give all of the congratulations to the Botanical Garden Rangers for coming out on top and being part of an amazing tournament, an amazing competition that showcased Vincentian talent, that showcased Vincentian vibe, and also that showcased Vincentian administration because it was the ones who, I'm going to ignore the experience in it. I completely ignore the experience who will administer this tournament. Tonight with me are two members of the winning team, the team captain, Mr. Kenneth Dember, and his teammate, West Indies player, Mr. Keron, Cottoy, and my daughter, Mohammed friend. Let me welcome both Kenneth and Keron to the studios of Uplate with Sierra Marshall.
Good night, Mr. C, and
And
thanks for having me.
we have to bring them to the studio.
And good night, listeners.
Keron, good night. Kenneth, good night.
Good night, Cian. How are you doing, man? Thanks for having me here. Also,
Okay,
good night, Skip, and everyone who are locked on wherever you are. Pleasant good night to all. Are you guys hearing me?
You guys hear me?
Kenneth, are you hearing me at least?
Yeah, Kiwi, I hear you.
Okay. Well, there's some communication. Cian, are you hearing us? We're not hearing you at this moment.
No.
Still not hearing. Seems as though we're experiencing a bit of technical difficulties. And Cian has left the studio once more. I just want to know, right? Get it? I want to know where he get a view from, right? I want to view my background.
What? $1 million view?
Yeah, boy. Absolutely amazing.
I'm sure you guys hear me now because I hear you talking come see me back, but I was saying all.
In front, your back, and behind.
Yeah. I heard you all talking come see me back. So that view, and I'll tell you this, photograph was a photograph I took from up Cane Garden looking down at Kingston Harbour on a night.
Okay. It's an amazing view, though.
Yeah. Well, I have your original still, so I mean, if you want it, let me know. I can definitely hook you up with a copy of that photo.
Yeah, surely. I mean, my middle name is Henry, for Henry Morgan. I'm a pirate, so I don't mind to pirate that picture from you. So please share whenever it's possible.
No problem. Absolutely, no problem. Gentlemen, again, welcome and good night. And I'm going to tell you what I learned today. Today, I learned that you and I are distant cousins.
Repeat that?
I learned today that you and I are distant cousins.
True?
Yes. Because my family from Chateaubelair, my dad is a Harry. But I never figured it out because on Sunday night going to the stadium, I met Jonathan and I said to her, "You wear the wrong t-shirt." And she said, "Wrong t-shirt and it's blood. It's Kenneth to them, but I'm a family." But I didn't think until today, one of my sisters said to me, "You know you and them is family, right?" I know them. So I couldn't know them. And I said, "Yeah, they're from Chateaubelair, but his mom is Miss Porter, sister of course, like Miss Porter, Catherine, and my cousins. Their sisters, and she can be hold on now. So yeah, I learned that today.
Okay.
Does not mean I'm going to support Rangers ever. Anyway,
I thought it was family first, but okay. That's an interesting phenomenon.
I know, right?
Kiwi not in people at all.
Boy,
well, now that I know,
serious.
now that I know, definitely I'm a Rangers fan, right? But guys, let's go back to the tournament, VPL Edition 6. How can you? I'm going from the back forward and then come back to the end. Sum it up for me, the competition in your own words. Any of you, of course, eh?
For me, it was.
Let's say, okay, go ahead, Kiwi.
No, you go ahead. Lead from the front, Skip.
For me, it was an unforgettable experience. Taking into consideration that we lost our first three games, knowing and hearing, knowing that there's a strong possibility if we don't get on winning ways early, there's a very good chance of us not qualifying. And hearing also other members from the other teams saying that we are not qualifying and to come back and win the tournament, that's yeah, it was an unforgettable one.
Keron?
For me, I would share similar sentiments. I mean, to go a little bit further in that it was more special to play, VPL at night. You know, this wasn't an opportunity that we had to play cricket here at night in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to have that proponent being added to VPL was an amazing and remarkable one for us. Um, on the night of the finals, what stood out most for me was seeing Daiketo being honored. You know, he is somebody who was a dear friend, a manager. We played, some cricket together for the national team and more. And I mean, his passing was heartfelt by, the cricketing community. And just to be able to stand there, have the national anthem being played and him being honored thereafter, that was something remarkable. If I can go even further, you know, this DPL was also made special in that this is possibly, well, for me, this is possibly the first time I've played cricket with my entire family, being there, watching and cheering on, as we played. Also, to denote, um, as Kenneth rightfully mentioned, a lot of our opponents, thought we wouldn't have made, the finals and more. And if I can safely say this, we had talks in the dressing room saying that, history don't lie. It would definitely repeat itself because of how we played last year. We played this year similarly to how we played last year. So that was a phenomenon all by itself. Especially, being there in the final. Um, I think was the last, well, yeah, within the last 3 overs, if my memory serves me right, I was feeling down at deep mid wicket, and to hear the roars and chants of patrons saying Rangers, Rangers, that was electrifying for me. That sort of summed up the entire tournament in that, it was really a good one. And I enjoy the camaraderie and support of, the cricketing public, not just persons of whom supported the Rangers, but those of whom came out to, watch cricket and enjoy cricket and be a part of the entire spectacle.
Mm. Now, I shared a lot of your sentiments. I felt really good seeing the crowd support and so forth, and the vibe. And we talk about the vibe a little bit. But let's talk about the competition itself. In your own view, how would you say the competition has evolved from season one to this point? I believe I have been around. This is probably the season I saw the least not number of matches, but I've always been there, going there to see 10, 20 matches and so on and so forth. How, if you look at the progression, and I'm assuming that you think that that's progressed, how would you say that it has evolved from the first season to now?
If I'm to jump in here and make an early assessment, I think we've made a transition from like fully local players to now having international stars, being added, to each and every team's lineup, if I may. Obviously, as I made mention earlier, we also had the now addition of playing cricket at night. To me, that's a phenomenal opportunity for obviously youngsters and whomever to play cricket on the lights. To be a part of an amazing spectacle. Now we have sponsors being added to teams. This year we have Acado. sponsoring us and more. So I mean, that's really a good outlook for the cricketing community on a whole, especially in St. Vincent and the wider outlook of sports.
Yeah,
Kenneth?
if I may jump in, I think from the first edition in 2020 as Kiwi, as I would usually call him, they were only the local players, but with the addition of the foreign players, and especially for the recently concluded edition, you could have seen the level of cricket evolve. And a couple of our players and myself, we had a conversation. We were saying that every year, every edition, the VPL getting harder and harder, and the finals alone speak for itself. We had like the the game itself was very challenging, um, and for me to reach the stage of almost shedding a tear during the game, yeah, I think that speaks volume, and that only a true testament of how much the tournament has um, evolved.
Mm. What would you say? What would you say was the turning point of the final? Looking at the match, I didn't think that we should bat first, but we batted first. I would have preferred that we chase because we batted first in the match just before that, and it was such a close game. So I would have really preferred that we chase. But what would you say was the turning point of the game? Because at one point you guys were still along smoothly, the opening pair, and then it came down. You stumbled and wobbled a bit in the middle, but finished strong. And then the bowling, I really think that the bowling came on very strong in the final two overs. What would you say if you were to narrow it down to just one moment? What would that moment be?
Wow, if I have to narrow it down to one.
I know there were many moments. I know there
Yeah,
were many,
yeah.
many moments. There were many moments.
May, this might be a biased one, but I would say Tijon, well, the penultimate over, the over that Tijon bowled.
Mm.
Say, when he bowled, when he came on to bowl, the first ball was a wicket, the second ball was a four, and then two two wides, and a lot of emotions um, displayed during that the two wides when the umpire called the two wides. Yeah, and then he followed up with I think it's like 3 runs. I think the next four balls went for 3 runs. I think that was the defining moment in the game. Yeah.
Do you have a different moment, Kieran, that you
Um,
think really tipped it one way or other?
well, I mean, as you rightfully mentioned, right? There are many key moments. I think, for me, to be honest, which showed a lot of characters and conjones, cojones. It was Pollard's last over for me because yes, Tijon bowled a phenomenal over. I'm not taking that spotlight from Tijon at all. That was really a defining moment. But I mean, Pollard bowled his first over for quite a bit. He was a little bit
20,
expensive, and
20
one would
20
think,
runs to be exact.
right, one would think that he would be a little bit on the timid side to bowl the last over and stuff, and he came out with those big cojones and bowl a phenomenal last over for us to seal that deal. So I mean, I would go with that one, considering Demba already went with Tijon.
I agree with you, man. I agree that I get my point in Jeffrey, the Springman. We got one of the team migration. And yes, that was a phenomenal over. But I think batting force, a moment when there was that mix up with the run out. And I think because I just think that you guys scored maybe 15, 20 runs
Hello?
more than you should have. I think that you scored about 15, 20 runs more than you should have. So for me, that mix up, and then after the mix up, I think he hit 2 6 or 6 or 4, something like that. I think that that moment, I think I wish he had gone and then a ball with a ball so he couldn't come back in because I think he just gave you a few more runs than you needed to get. And that helped you to post what was a more than competitive total that was difficult well, that was easier for you to defend or difficult for divers to overcome. But those are critical moments. I was there praying, man, just go on. And they kept showing it over and showing it over. And I recognized early that you were was moving, leaving the wicket, I recognized all your part. And what took so long. But anyway, I just thought that moment that I'm in the mix up there, kind of, I don't know, boy. Like, he came back and he said, boy, let me do something quickly before something happened again. And I think that moment was one of those moments. Now, fan participation. The the match there had what two extremely filled stands, Michael Finley and the one next to it, and then the double decker stand. The lower part was about half or more than half. The party stand was good. The atmosphere, the vibe was there. The crowd support was there. Do you think that has greater implications for cricket? The love of cricket, the support of cricket in St. Vincent. Do you think the VPL is creating a vibe where people are coming out to see cricket now, or will be willing to come out and see cricket?
You will have to repeat the question. I think my Wi-Fi, my connection is a bit messed up.
Yeah, Wi-Fi not fine at all. I would say that the crowd support was phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Um, More than anything that any regional competition would get. So I'm asking, do you think the BPL is creating a new pattern for cricket among all local populations so that it doesn't have to be only when the West Indies senior team comes, but Vincentians would not be willing to support local cricket?
I think
Yes, yes, I
Vincentians
would think
generally.
so.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying I think Vincentians generally
Right,
love
right, right, right.
cricket, and they love to support cricket in action, especially at Arnesville. And now that we have lights and so on, it makes for a phenomenal spectacle. The party stand, music, food. I mean, the atmosphere on a whole was very electric. And I mean, if I wasn't playing, I would have wanted to be a part of that spectacle as well. So yeah, man, it's really a benchmark being set, and I'm very much hoping that other sporting disciplines would take a page pretty much, and continue to grow sports in and around our country.
Yes,
Right.
I would love to believe um, that's the case. Because when you look at the number of persons who are showing up to watch the game, and it's not one age group, it's young, old, and middle age. Um, yeah, that's pretty good, and I am pretty certain that VPL 7, the crowd turnout would be even more.
Mm.
And one of the amazing parts about it too, right, is to look in the stands and see the multitude of people wearing the different teams shirts and so forth, whether it's rangers, divers, hikers, whomever, that's a phenomenal feat, to consider. It just goes to show that, people come out to really support their team and or, favorite players and more. So, for me, that's fantastic. So much so that, a couple persons try and grab my shirt at the finals.
Listen, 2 seasons ago, I tried to get replica shorts for divers. Those shorts didn't come until after the competition. I was still in the UK when it was announced, and I messaged the VPL Instagram page and I asked for replicas, and I said, we're working on that, we keep you updated and so forth. But there wasn't even an update on the Instagram page to say, well, look, we're taking orders now, nothing at all. By the time, of course, I get here, orders are already filled out and people got their shorts, so I had no shorts to support my divers team. Luckily, Obed is my friend, and I noticed that divers got him for this season. And because my friend, I have Obed t-shirt, so I was able to wear Obed shorts to the game to support divers. But that's something I think, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine made a criticism of that. The person said, look, even though you're looking at orders, with the vibe was, you could have had a booth somewhere downstairs selling replica t-shirts downstairs and little cups or mugs or something, to in keeping with the atmosphere. But that
Yeah.
didn't happen. And so if you ordered your shirt before and you got it fine, if you didn't, too bad. And I was one of those persons who felt that, every year the same thing. I can't give you that shirt, you know.
Mhm.
But I guess these are things that the Cricket Association can work on for future
Yeah.
tournaments. Somebody in the comments is suggesting that maybe we should have VPL twice per year. What do you think about that?
It happened. I think it happened in 2020. Yeah,
Hmm.
Yes.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
May
And
and
later in the year as well. Yeah.
November. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
not
was
a bad
November.
idea, but I think the challenge is to find the window because after um after Carnival you have the Windward Island Senior Tournament, and then just after the Windward Island Senior Tournament, you have the preparation for the regional Super 50, which usually starts at that's right, yeah, which usually starts at I think it's middle of October
Into November.
to the end of November. So it's basically the challenge is basically the window. It's finding the right window.
I see.
Yeah.
Guys, I want you to respond to this, right? I was reading an article recently, and the caption suggested that West Indies great Michael Holding doesn't consider T20, and I guess T10 would fall into that, as real cricket. Kim Kiran, you played at the highest level. Uh, do you agree with those sentiments? Then you've been playing cricket for a while as well. Do you agree with those who criticize the shortened version of the game by saying it's not real cricket?
You're kind of putting me on the spot there, man. um,
That's why
no, but
you still play to go on this one.
no, but at the end of the day, the way how I see it, I mean, I love the longer format, right? To be honest, I love it to the core. But we've been losing a lot of viewers and more, and persons who enjoy cricket, because of the length of time, with the advent of social media and everything is so current and at your fingertips, we're kind of losing the attention of the cricketing public to an extent. With the shortened versions, no. I mean, it's easier to consume, and I mean, it's entertainment pack, and it offers a little bit more in relation to the package. So most people would gravitate, to that format. I mean, I do enjoy it, to be very honest. I mean, it's quick and sharp, and it's action packed, full of fun. Sometimes, especially in the T10 format, I feel as though the cricket finishes like a little too fast, right? But we also have to take into account that this sport is way bigger than us, right? We have a very important task of inspiring the next generation of cricketers. and so forth. With the amount of cricket being played now across formats, we can just find, cricketing phenomenons who can play a format and, go further in relation to their own personal growth, their financial growth, and, social growth and more, if you understand what I'm saying. So, I mean,
Right.
I'm not here to pull down any format, really and truly. Cricket is cricket across the board, because if you give me a softball and a bat, I would play cricket in the road, and that is purely for fun. Whether it's a 2-over match, 3-over match, 10 overs, a test match, I would definitely play that in the road, because at the end of the day, that is how sports started. It's merely about fun, and now, with all the monies being in sports, then people play for a little bit more. So for me, like I said, I'm not bashing any format. Cricket is cricket at the end of the day. So let's all enjoy whatever format that we're playing, and hopefully we can inspire somebody to come and play cricket, whichever format it may be.
Yeah.
I hear you
I
about
share
that. I have no problem at all.
I share the same sentiments. But I think, well, I don't know. Let me establish that first. But if you have to choose a format where a young kid can learn from, most cricketers would advise that youngster to um look at Test cricket or 50-over cricket, the longer formats, and mainly because um one test of not saying that the shorter version, because in the finals a lot of characters were tested. So it has nothing to do with testing characters or anything, but it's basically like learning the skill of
Fundamental.
playing cricket, like, yeah, the fundamentals. Thanks, Kiwi. Yeah. So again, I share the same sentiments. I'm not bashing any format. But yeah, cricket is cricket.
Now,
Enjoy it, and what you can gain from it, grab it. Pretty much.
no, we have some back and forth going on in the comments there between some Rangers fans. And Maloney was saying that you shouldn't say usually, Dember. I'm not sure what he said usually about, but Maloney was correcting and saying you shouldn't say usually. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
you realize I laughed when I saw the comment.
Okay, you saw the comment. Okay, all right. Now, let's talk about what is in it for all people. I think this year you had a massive payout, $50,000 for the eventual winner. That I think rose from, what was it last year, $10,000?
No, it was $30,000 last year.
30,000. Okay. So
It
it
was
was 30
30.
last year, and it's now jumped to 50,000 this year. But what is cricket something that our young men can look at professionally outside of the West Indies? For example, you have the PPL. Yes, it's only 2 weeks, but are our youngsters and even our more experienced cricketers who participate in this tournament, can they earn something decent from their participation that makes their participation worthwhile? And if not, do you think that's a problem?
Um,
I didn't get
my
that fully. I'm
connection messed up
sorry.
there. I hear the question properly.
The
Yeah.
question is whether or not you believe that there is enough in terms of incentive, financial incentive in cricket for youngsters, for cricketers in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And if you don't think so, do you think that is one of the problems that this sport is facing?
In St. Vincent,
Yes.
generally.
No, it's St. Vincent, and especially coming up with something like the VPL. You look at the VPL, you have big time Indian sponsor Dream 11. You have on the weekends not too bad gate receipts. Can those individuals who participate in that tournament say, listen, I spent 2 weeks doing this thing every day, and the financial reward wasn't bad at all. I could do this yearly or even twice a year if the chance comes.
Yeah.
I mean, you could respond
humble opinion,
without
I
responding. If you understand what I'm saying, you don't need to. I'm not necessarily asking for
yeah,
specifics. You know what I
I
mean?
know,
But yeah, right.
know, I know. But if I be 100% honest, for a player to a decent amount of money from VPL, the only how you can do that is by winning the tournament. Hello,
Mhm. Yeah,
you hear me?
I'm here. Yes.
Right. Yes. Because then the winnings, like for example, the 50,000 that the Rangers just won, that would share up between the players and management. So then it's like your match fees along with
The winnings.
your winnings, right? So then you, however, I don't think I honestly, because of the product and the quality of the product that would be displayed on a daily basis during the VPL tournament, and knowing the kind of money or revenue that the sponsors gaining from it, I think the players should be compensated some more. Like that's my honest opinion. And I know a lot of people might uh, might want to watch me with some side eye, but that's just the truth.
Well, you see that Keron, that's how to be put on the spot and jump off the spot.
It's,
Jump off
Yeah,
the spot.
it's,
yeah,
see, see this comment too. So
yeah. It's one of the comments I saw that made me
yeah,
laugh.
it's a comment. Yeah, it's a comment.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm.
Jesus.
The
But
comments.
I do echo similar sentiments to that of Kenneth. I think players can definitely be rewarded a little bit more handsomely as well. Considering the product as rightfully mentioned, and revenues being generated, um, you know, by the parent company of whom sponsors, the said VPL competition.
Mm. Well, I think everyone wants to join the Millionaire Club,
Yeah.
and I have no problem coming along. I don't know, guys. I mean, you guys know me, to find me. Whenever you guys move into the club, just give me a holler. Even if I just carry somebody's bag, you know what I mean? I'm willing to do that. Okay, so um, let's talk a little bit about cricket itself in semis and greatness, because we talked about the DPL and we'll talk a little bit more about the championship game and so on. But I want to discuss because you guys have played cricket at different levels. It was a proud moment. Seeing Keron was it T20 played for the West Indies?
No, no, no.
Or,
I
or,
didn't
or,
play
or
T20. I was a part of the test camp.
the test
Not
camp? Okay,
yeah.
right. I can't remember what tournament it was. Oh, it might have been CPL, and
Yeah, I played.
hearing the
I played a good
commentators
few times.
before
Yeah.
talk about how good you are in the field and all that stuff and so on. And I was very proud when I saw the VCs on the field. How do you compare the talent and the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because people will know it, with what is happening throughout the region?
To be honest, I think that we have a lot of talent here. To compare regionally, it's just a matter of individual players understanding that. Sometimes I think they sell themselves like very very short, not knowing like how good they are. But what separates our local from regional and possibly international is just the part where discipline is concerned. Just dedicating that 10,000 hours to your craft. That is something that is lacking here. So sometimes, players don't really take it as serious. They come turn up for cricket on the weekend, and somebody might just go to a fete or something thereafter and have a ball of a time, considering cricket, is to be played the following day and what's not, become a little bit inebriated and, that kind of thing. But it boils down to discipline. Every individual has to know what he wants out of this life, what mark he wants to leave in this life. And I think cricket is one of those ways where you can, be paid handsomely. I mean, Kenneth Dember, I would tell him about that. But anyways,
Or there's a Maloney. Yeah,
others are more you know, but but
yeah.
but on a whole, there are multitudes of opportunities out there. In sports, I can speak considering that I went to university as well on the backs of like two scholarships, undergrad, masters from cricket. So there are many pathways. It's just a matter of individuals to really zone in on what they want individually from the sport. And like I said, just going hard. Turn up to training on time. Forget about all the partying and girls and alcohol and stuff. You know, all these things would come at some point in your life, right? When you can just enjoy yourself fully. But if you really want to be an athlete, then you have to really zone in and stay focused on being the best version of you, so that you can attain all that you need to from a sportive stance.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to call to the language because if I go anyway, I see Keron with either a bottle of beer, a girl, or anything. Listen to me. Listener, all right. Because giving advice right straight from girls, rum, and what you said? Rum girls and something else. Anyhow, um, other countries have tried the T10. Grenada tried it, I think Dominica tried it. How do they match up with our BPL?
I was telling my wife this morning that VPL is like the Super Bowl of
I
T10
like
cricket in the
that.
Caribbean.
I like that. I like that. Super Bowl of T10 cricket. I
Yeah.
like that. Because I
Not
remember, I
taking anything
remember
away
after we
from
did the first
the
edition.
Spice T10,
hmm
hello?
Go
You hear
ahead.
me?
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I'm not taking anything away from the Spice T10, the Nature LT10, and the others. But even the Dominicans, the Grenadians, the Bajans, the Trinidadians, even them themselves admitted and they speak highly of the VPL and saying that they don't want to miss VPL ever again because they love it over here. Not only because of the beauty of St. Vincent, but the cricket on the whole, the quality of cricket. Yeah.
You think Kieran, before you come in, do you think there is something that we could market, like have it fixed on the calendar, and we can, especially considering the comments that Kenneth just made, we can market it as the Super Bowl sporting event. So at a particular time around Easter every year, whether you're in Lucia, Trinidad, or what have you, you need to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the biggest party in cricket, VPL.
Um, I think that slogan was used by CPL to an extent.
No, no, they didn't make
Yeah,
it part
yeah,
in
I know.
sports. That's not the cricket. That's not
Yeah,
the cricket.
right,
Because it's
right,
sports, right?
right. But
Okay.
but I think that would be a superb idea. I mean, if I can be very honest with you, I mean, this is why like these forums are very important, because ideas are being thrown out, and hopefully the coordinators and whomever else are listening, to take some of these ideas on board, because this thing is bigger than we, as we usually say. You know, there's a wide effect. We're looking at the tourism aspect and revenue earning and more. So I mean that would be a fantastic idea in relation to not only growing VPL but growing our country.
I think so too. I really think so. Because what we saw on Sunday night. Well, I was there Friday night and Sunday night. I wasn't there Saturday night. And what I saw really encouraged me and gave me serious hope
Mm,
that, listen, something that is clean, something that allows for the entire family to attend,
yeah.
and in this case, 2 hours on the lights, a fantastic idea. So tell me something. When is the celebration cook? Let me come in with diversion. Tell me.
That happened last week, Wednesday.
How are you gonna have me for you win? Hold on. So wait, you don't know where win, so you don't cook before you win.
Precisely. Mango eat out
See?
here. You want that? Mango eat.
Well, I noticed you guys showed gratitude to your fans. You thank your fans, and people are still reliving those moments of the weekend of the final. And so I said, boy, before the momentum goes out, let me try and get these guys on. Let me chat with them. Let me congratulate them. And how do you guys intend to keep? Is there something that you do to keep the team together, or you guys just wait until next year before the tournament and you pull the team together again? Or do you guys, some of you guys play on similar teams or whatever during the year?
A lot of us play in various teams together. Also, we have our group chat. Um, Even if VPL finish, the group chat, sorry, still exists. Um, Also, we when the draft comes, we try our best to get back the same team. Um, if we can't get back the same team, something close to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you see guys? Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just gonna say like the Rangers outlook is really a family. That's where our values lie, within, the realms of, being and living as a family. As Kenneth said, like every year we try to, have the same core players, because of the values that were instilled. And, we should give a lot of homage and credit to, our manager, Elvis Eric Bagger Brown, and also our coach, Nixon McLean, for, building the family, with our captain, Kenneth Dember was done a fantastic job. Not only this year, but into the middle to the latter part of last season as well. Yeah, family.
Mm. So Nico is the manager. I see. All right, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Guys, what do you think about St. Vincent and Grenadines bringing its own franchise for CPL?
I find we're not moving like too swiftly on that opportunity.
I mean, seriously, guys. Um, the Millionaire Club, Keron, Kenneth, and Desmond, Millionaire Club.
Don't forget to the
You
Lamberson.
have, well, church, and well, there you go.
and
It's expanding.
and I
You
think we
know,
should make him the captain too.
of the club. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Obed. You have. I mean, I see some of the other guys coming through and so on who can definitely I think could put on a pretty decent showing. If you pick the best 18 at regional level, what was somebody? What is in your mind, guys? What was somebody bright young prospects that you think um, Winwards and possibly even West Indies can look forward to seeing in the next maybe 3-4 years? Winwards maybe and West Indies maybe in another 5-6 years.
Repeat your question for me, please.
I was asking from both of you, looking and because I know you guys are senior in the business, and so I know I expect you guys will be doing a lot of mentoring and so forth. And so I'm asking, in your eyes, do you see any bright young prospect you can say, yeah, boy, in 4 or 5 years, this person could definitely be looking at national team, even winwards, and possibly go on to the West Indies?
Um, yeah, there's quite a few. Watson Seaton,
What's the right of my mind,
um,
boy?
Jordan
Jordan.
Charles, Jahil Walters.
Mhm.
There's the left pacer for McDonald. The left arm seamer for strikers who made winwards under 19.
Yeah, I don't remember his full name.
Yeah, Devontae. I think it's Devontae McDonald. Yeah. Was
I think T John as well.
yes,
Once you
T
stay
John.
committed, yeah.
Yes, T John. It goes back to the discipline that you mentioned, Kiwi.
Yeah.
Um, was-
But
Franklin.
there's one agreeing that,
oh,
that both
yeah,
Jaleel and Watson are ideal candidates.
yeah. Courtney Franklin, but I think
National footballer.
he he is in between. He ain't make up his mind as yet, whether football or cricket.
Mm.
Yeah,
I have a second cousin who was
yeah.
developing
And
quite well in
and
cricket.
my two godsons, Kai Smalloney and Cruz Ambrose.
Okay. Okay. I was saying I have a second cousin who was developing quite well in cricket, but he was multidisciplinary. He was doing athletics as well. So I'm not sure if he chose cricket. His dad was involved in one of the management of the team. I'm talking about Ricky Grant, Ricky's son. What's his name
Oh,
again?
Cody.
Um,
Cody
Co-
Grant. Yes, Cody
Yeah.
Grant.
yes,
Cody Grant also.
right. Yeah. So I was waiting to say Cody name because you can just tell everybody Cody man,
Yeah.
Cody this, Cody. So I'm right. Good. I'm glad you remember Cody. So well that's good. And I want to encourage you guys to keep mentoring those youngsters. Keep encouraging them, helping them to get to the next level. Discipline, as you mentioned, very very important. But listen, I'd love to see a lot of those guys. Um, Graduate and transition into the next level. Guys, I've come to the end of the program. It was really a pleasure having you guys on. Thank you so much. Let me again congratulate the Botanical Garden Rangers for winning and creating history by doing it back to back. Hopefully there'll be no repeat, and I'm going to talk to my guys divers about that, you know. And but I wish you guys always savor this thing, and hopefully we see a version 7 of the VPL stronger and better. And like we just discussed, even a possible Vinci volcano. Well, we don't have volcanoes, but just like our simple chart team, let us look at bringing a team um, from St. Vincent for the CPL because we are lights now. And you know the vibe will be nice in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Closing thoughts, gentlemen? Any closing
Absolutely.
thoughts?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Um, Good night, listeners, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, I also want to
All right.
say, Mashi, thanks for having us here, tonight on, your podcast slash program. It was amazing, to obviously, be here, to speak on cricket and about cricket. I mean, mainly about VPL and the outlook of VPL. To our Rangers fans, just want to say thanks a lot for rallying around us and for believing in us firmly. I know that at times you guys had your hearts in your hands, but be that as it may, we did it and we did it together as a family, as a Rangers family. So you guys are actually included as well. To our sponsors, we just want to say a heartfelt thank you to you as well, Ricardo. Big up yourselves. Hopefully, y'all on board again next year, or next competition. Mashi, again, thank you, and you let us know what name you want us to put on your Ranger shirt next time around. Okay?
Ah, I love that. I love that. I love that. Marsh, it sounds good. Just put it on the radio show. No, wait. Just put Marsh on the radio show. You know something? I don't find you guys. I'll have to present both of you with a cup so that you can remember coming on Uplift with Sir Marshall. And remember, Marshall on the back of my cup. And number 7 is my number. All right?
All right. Yeah,
Uh,
you
All right.
covered.
Thank thank you,
Have a good
guys.
night.
Have a
no
good night.
problem,
All
man.
the
No
best.
problem. Thanks.
All right. That was Mr. Kenneth Dember, the captain of the Botanical Garden Rangers, and Mr. Keron Cottoy, his teammate, members of the winning team for edition 7 of the BNC Premier League, winning it back to back, creating history, the first team to do so in this competition. Thank you so much for joining us on this another edition of Update with Sion Marshall. Until next Thursday, good night.